Hi everybody, welcome back to T.U.B Investing YouTube channel. To be honest, I'm still not feeling very well at this moment. I apologize. And then right now I'm showing you another few pictures of this licensed comics that I'm talking about the company that I've talked about in part 1, right? So without further ado, this is part 2 of the company responsible in publishing this licensed comic. And that company is IDW Media Holdings Incorporated, ticker IDW. As usual, I'm not a financial advisor. Please take this as my opinion. I'm just doing this recording to understand my reasons and of why I'm investing in this company. Please like, however, regardless, I hope you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for me for this video. Thank you very much. And let's move on to in my first part, I explained about the business model of IDW. Right now, I'm talking about the competitive edge and the competition around this business, right? And as I've stated here, the secret to the competition is the strength of the IP, right? Which is their competitive edge, in my opinion. And is that good or bad, right? In my opinion, for IDW, their strength of their IP is unique. They do not have a Marvel like or DC like of where you can create a universe, right? But in creating a universe, you need a major planning and a lot of expenses and costs, right? But IDW IPs are shorter in the sense that this series they can make shorter series, right? They don't need to look into extensive planning, and then the TV producer can just produce series of 2 or 3 seasons or movies that can fill this gap. What do I mean by this gap, right? Because impatient viewers like us want something new on consistently for the long term, right? If not, we may unsubscribe from the streaming services, right? So if you don't have, for example, this streaming service cannot always produce similar dramas on and on, right? So sometimes they need short movies or short series to fill in this gap, right? This could be prefixed to be honest, but they need these companies that produce its IP and grab this IP to fill in the gap, right? So in my opinion, IDW's IP is unique in that sense, right? Because they help Netflix or these streaming services to create content, right, without the need to always write new stories and without the need to have major planning in that sense. However, if you hear about this, does this mean that their IP are bad? No, not really. If you look in their IP, they have very good original content such as Lock and Key, which there's 3 seasons on Netflix. They also have V-Wars, which to be honest, a lot of people like it on Netflix, and I've read I will say articles that people are furious that Netflix stopped that. I have no idea why. Probably due to the fees behind it, right? But however, in my opinion, IDW IP are actually quite unique in that sense. They are very good IP, and probably some IPs that are not so good, but these IP could still create some new content for the streaming services regardless. So with that, what are the catalysts and tailwinds for IDW, right? So basically, streaming wars will continue. Content will always be required. So this is a catalyst, in my opinion, a long tailwind for the company that is focusing on creating original IP, right? And as usual, at the start in part 1, I say already, the company don't have any debt. A company without debt has a very hard time going bust, right? Although they are priced for bankruptcy, right? Although they are priced for bankruptcy right now, they don't have any it doesn't seem like they will go bankrupt, right? Unless their execution really go very haywire, very wrong, right? And then they actually have about 11 stories right now in development. Let me show you the article. So there are 5 series in development with HBO Max, for example, WB TV and more, right? This was announced August 9th, and this was announced in November 30th, where there are 6 other comics and graphical novels for TV development as well, right? So they actually has all they're actually trying to execute quite well right now, in my opinion, with all these developments in line, right? And then if you look at the short term, right, looking at the last season earnings from Netflix will come. This will probably be in the range of 3 to 4 million, and this will, in my opinion, quite positively, that this will create a turnaround story for IDW in this upcoming quarter in January, that will report October end financial year. And then this could push up the share price. So right now the share price is very low, in my opinion, and then which I'll explain the valuation later. And this, if it really turns around, this Lock and Key earnings could probably turn IDW around, right? And they also have new CEO, but is that really a catalyst, in my opinion? Because in my opinion, why I don't see a new CEO as a catalyst itself, because I don't know why the previous CEO left, because he was hired in mid 2020 and he get them listed and pushing them in this current direction, but recently they changed CEO. So in my opinion, I don't understand, is this a risk or a catalyst? But in my opinion, there's some uncertainty here that was not explained, and I'll leave it as a more negative tone to it. I'll have a more negative tone to this changing of CEO. And on the short term, they actually got a new publisher, and meaning there will be lesser title. Actually, there's also explained there will be lesser title this year, so publishing revenue could come down as well. And most important, they've lost Marvel and Hasbro, which is Transformer and G.I. Joe licensed IP in their IBW publishing of licensed comics, right? So this is very, very losing Marvel is probably, I think, losing Marvel is I'm not sure whether they really write them, but probably the printing or the publishing itself. But Hasbro is quite important, in my opinion. So let me show you the article right now. So you see, after heavily investing, this article wrote here, after heavily investing in woke identity politics, talking about same-sex, talking about same-sex marriages, talking about LGBTQ, kind of incorporate all these, I would say, themes into their comics, right? The IDW has lost a lot. I mean, probably this original IP companies will have taken the IP away and then find a new publisher, right? So right now, if you read this article, let me see. So where is it? Yeah, so IDW lose of Transformer and Gyro follows an editorial turn in recent years, right, due to all these things in their franchise, right? And then examples are given. You can go and read this article, but I think the most important is here. IDW loss of Transformers and G.I. Joe makes the second such massive license loss in the recent months. In September 2021, Disney and Lucasfilm have withdrew the publisher license for Marvel and Star Wars, right? However, I see this Marvel and Star Wars this Marvel and Star Wars withdrawal more like Disney want to control what's being published, which is more in line with their all dramas, their massive planning, right? But the loss of Transformer and G.I. Joe, in my opinion, is quite massive. And like I said, licensed title is supposed to create recurring revenue because they have a following, right? And how much of this impact will be on their revenue is really up in the air. So hopefully this original content really takes off. That will really help the company in the future. So now let's look at the valuation, right? So the valuation in the transcript, right? For the valuation, I'll look at two valuations. One is on the executive producing fees, and one is on the net basis, right? On the net current asset value. So it's a bit confusing here because actually in the transcript they say that the executive producing fee could be about 500k to 1 million, but in their 10Q, right, they have actually paid executive producing fee about 200k for sub-cycle, so I'm not very sure right now. So for executive producing fee, I'm only using 200k in a sense, because I want to be on the conservative side, and that leads to a 20 million kind of valuation, which is about 1.41, which is still significantly higher than the current price of 1.05. Net asset value itself, if we take current assets minus total liabilities divided by the total outstanding shares, the net current asset value is actually 1.26. That is also higher than what the current price. However, you have to take note, right? This does not include the 40 titles, original titles in their pipeline. The potential longevity of the these original titles become a popular title and become a mega hit on the screen, and then the other additional monetizations, revenue stream in games, films, and stuff like that. And this also doesn't take into account of the publishing side of the business in that sense, and also the current short-term catalyst of the earning that's coming in, right? However, on the other hand, is such a valuation feasible, right? Because at the start in part 1, I already said they are looking at creating 4 to 6 TV projects annually. But if you look at this, right, IDW Entertainment, right, requires 4 million of administrative costs per year, right? Even if the executive fee flows directly to the bottom line, right, we need to we need 20 original titles to break even at 200k. At 500k, we need 8 original titles to break even, right? So I feel that I'm not sure whether the idea of having 4 to 6 TV projects per year is sufficient, right? So, and this will only we can only see the result of this when they do the execution, right? So right now, as per the catalyst, I already say that there's already 11 TV development in 11 graphical novels or comics being made into TV developments in the pipeline right now, and over the next 1 or 2 quarters we'll probably see the effect, and if this effect is non-favorable, then I will probably sell the company, right? So if it's favorable, so let me explain my conclusion. If it's not favorable, I would say I'll probably sell the company. However, right now at this current price, we definitely know it's undervalued. Since it's priced for bankruptcy, and there's a potential turnaround. And as I said, right, this is, in my opinion, if you calculate the risk reward, this high risk with some uncertainty, but as I like to repeat, it's undervalued right now. But the more important point right now is, if I want to be more comfortable to add more, and you understand the executive producing fee, how it goes in the bottom line, and does it really flow into the bottom line, right? And does 4 to 6 TV dramas really can cover the cost of the IDW Entertainment side of the business, right? So with that, I will just say that this is my conclusion. I think it's undervalued. I'll probably hold on to it. I may not be adding any to it anymore until the next quarter comes out and I see how the financial changes, right? So with that, I like to say thank you very much. Thanks for watching part 2. If you like this part 2 and this is your first video, please go to part 1 to understand the business as well. So I'd like to repeat, I'm not a financial advisor, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and goodbye.